Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you watched my previous video. My name is Elise, and I really hope you're having a wonderful day today. As I said in my last video, in this video I will take you through how certain income and expenses work here for me in the Netherlands, as I am Dutch, so this budget that I'm going to use as an example is obviously also in euros. If you wonder how I got to these amounts, please check out my last video in which I actually went over this budget. So without further ado, let me get into it. So obviously I explained in my last video that I get two types of government benefits, one for health insurance and one for rent. So how that works is here in the Netherlands, if you don't earn a certain amount of money, then you will get a health insurance benefit, as it is here obligatory to have health insurance. And that benefit that I get is about 111 euros. And as you can see here in my fixed expenses, I am paying my health insurance, and that is 133. But if you deduct the 111 from that, I only pay 22 euros a month, because the government finds it important to have like a social security system in place, which is why you will get benefits if you don't earn higher than, I think it's 40,000 euros, but I'm not entirely sure. And with my rent benefit, it's pretty much the same. So depending on how old you are, you can get these type of benefits from the age of 18, but they will be lower and you won't always be eligible for them. So one of the requirements is actually that the rent without utilities should not be higher than 752 euros in order for you to qualify for benefits. And my rent without utilities is around 750. It went up this year, but because I was already eligible for the benefits, then it automatically means that you keep them. So I get 376 euros towards rent every month. And that is also because I am not a high income earner. And I'm mainly living off of my student loans, which is the second income that I receive during the month. The student loans here are provided by the government, and currently they have 0% interest. The student loan is also made up of two different types of loans, so to speak. So one loan is just your regular loan that you can use for everything, and then you can take out a separate loan for tuition fees. So tuition is about 2,200 euros a year. So I know that compared to the US, it's a lot less. So this 1,023 euros is made up of roughly 200 towards tuition, and then the remaining 800 and something for just my normal student loan. So that's the other income that I have. Then I had a job, as I explained in my last video. My contract has ended, so I will not really be going over this. For my bartender job, which might be relevant to know, is that I do get paid weekly for this. So on this channel, I will also be doing some cashless stuffings, as I am not using a cash-based system to allocate my money that I get from the bartender job. So that's basically it for the income part of my budget. Now let's go a little bit further to fixed expenses. So one of my expenses is obviously rent. So I pay 868, including utilities. That is pretty normal here, that your landlord will also arrange utilities. For me, that includes the internet, water, electricity, the use of the washing machine, so I don't have to have one myself, but we share them with the 7 apartments that are in my building. And I think that's about it. So that's for rent. Then my phone plan, I don't think that really needs explaining. I have an unlimited phone plan, so I just have unlimited data, unlimited calls, texts, whatever. Tuition, I already explained a little bit. I put some tuition aside every month. It gets withdrawn from my bank account every 2 months, but that's only 5 times. So during the academic year, basically, then the first withdrawal will be in September, and then November, and so on until I think it's either May or June. I can't really think of it that fast. And that's when the last tuition payment for my uni will be taken out. As for Netflix, I have a family plan for Netflix, so meaning that I have the more expensive option. That is because I share Netflix with my family. I am budgeting the whole amount every month because my family already paid their portion of it when I asked them to. And I put that money in my savings account. So I'm just budgeting the 16 euros every month. So I don't have to take out, I think it's like 12 euros every month for my savings. And so far that has worked fine for me. Health insurance, I already explained a little bit about this now because of my benefit that I get for health insurance. In the Netherlands, health insurance is obligatory. The 133 euros that I pay is actually quite a lot, depending on what type of insurance you choose for your healthcare. That kind of establishes the amount that you pay monthly. So our health insurance system works in a little bit of a complicated way that I can't really explain simple for now in this video. But what you need to know is that health insurance, you pay monthly, but then there's also a contribution that you need to do yourself. So I pay 133 every month. That means that, for example, everything general practitioner related is covered entirely, but my own contribution is 385 euros a year. So when I have to get medicine, for example, or I need to get lab works done, or any other type of medical related things, if you're gonna see a psychologist or if you need to go to the hospital to see a specialist, first you have to pay the 385 euros. And then when you paid that, so when you used up your own contribution, that's when everything from that moment onwards will be covered entirely. So depending on how much you choose for your own contribution, so I have the lowest, which is 385, and then the highest is 900 euros. It also varies with the cost that you have monthly. So the higher your own contribution, basically, the lower your monthly payments will be. But because I have some health problems, I always decide to just have the lowest contribution because every year I go through it around, I think, the half of the year. So that's a little bit about how the health insurance system works. And that's also, as I explained in my previous video, this is my healthcare contribution for next year. And I'm already saving up for that. So that 385 that I need to pay next year. Also related to that, I know I'm jumping a little bit, but I think that makes more sense. Dentist is not included in my healthcare. You could take out an additional health package for dentistry, but I only go twice every year just to get everything checked out. And luckily my teeth are doing fine, so I never really have to get fillings or anything like that. And then it cost me about, I think, anywhere between 30 and 40 euros for the appointment. So it's a lot cheaper for me to just pay my dentist out of pocket instead of getting insurance for that as well. But if I were to have something done or anything like that, I might want to change my health insurance package by the end of the year, because you can change it before the 1st of January of the next year. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense, but as I was saying, it's a little bit complicated and I'm trying my best to explain it in a way that makes sense. But if you have any more questions about how the health insurance system works when you're not from the Netherlands, please comment them down below and I will answer them there. So our next point that I was going to explain was this ASR Fidelity thing that cost me €4 a month. This is an app, and this app sets you weekly goals of points that you need to get, and you get these points by doing activities. So I have a Fitbit, as you can see here, and that registers my steps that I take every day, but also my heart rate. And depending on that, I will get points. And then if you achieve your weekly goal by meeting the points that were put forward by the app, then you can exchange those points for gift cards or free products and stuff like that. And I meet my weekly goal pretty much every week. So I pay €4 for that. And then I get back the equivalent of about €15. So it profits me around 11 every month. So that's for that. Then I have another insurance here. That is what I explained a little bit last video, I think, for when I do damages to other people's property. I am insured for that. And it has a second insurance as well, which is for everything that is in my house. I'm not entirely sure how you would call this in English, but for example, when the house catches on fire, I am insured, so I can get money back to buy new furniture and clothes and things like that. So I have an insurance for that. And then Spotify, I don't think I need to do any explaining for that. I do also want to do a little bit of explaining for my variable expenses. As I probably mentioned, I'm not entirely sure because I don't have a photographic memory or anything like that. My groceries also include household items, eating out, and also here we use a certain system for the supermarket that I go to most often, where if you scan your card, for every euro that you spend, you can buy like a stamp for 10 cents, and then you will get interest over those stamps that you buy. So I signed up for that program because it gives you about 6% interest, and I thought it was worthwhile doing that because I do most of my groceries with that shop anyway. But that means that also part of this budget is actually going to buying those stamps that cost me 10 cents for every euro that I spent. So my grocery budget is basically a lot of things included. So not only food, but also household items, medicine. For example, if I need to get like aspirin or ibuprofen or things like that, it's also included in my grocery budget. And as I was explaining, the stamps system that I'm using is also included in that. Then I can imagine that 30 euros per month for transportation might seem really low. First of all, I don't have a car. Second of all, I live in the Netherlands and here we have a really good biking infrastructure. So I do have my own bike and that's what I use to get around. If I need to go places that I cannot bike, I will use public transportation, which is also really good here. And because I'm a student, I have free public transportation during the week. So if I travel on weekends or if I'm going out with a friend or with my boyfriend and we need to pay for gasoline, I will also use this money towards that. But normally this 30 euros will only be used when I travel with public transport during the weekends, as then I don't travel for free. I still get a 40% discount because I'm a student, but meaning that normally 30 euros for me is more than enough because during the week I can travel for free with bus, train, metro, anything you can think of basically. Miscellaneous is just a little buffer that I like to have in my bank account for unexpected expenses. So that is 25 euros a month. I hardly ever use it up entirely. So everything that remains, I will put towards one of my sinking funds most of the time. And then Elise, that's me, obviously, it's my pocket money. I give myself 100 euros a month when I can afford it. And that money I will use towards anything that I want to buy. So I know that I could divide it a little bit more into different categories. And I am thinking of doing that. But I use this money towards buying clothes, for example, skincare products, if I want to do activities with my friends, if I want to go on a date with my boyfriend, anything you can name that I would want to spend money on, I can just spend that money on. The reason I haven't categorized it further, so I'm not having a category activities or skincare products or hairdresser, is because most of the things that I buy from this money are not really regular expenses. I never know when I will run out of skincare products. I go to the hairdresser when I want to, which is maybe 3 times a year. And when I want to do activities, I never really know how much they're gonna cost. So that's why I lumped everything just under pocket money for myself. Let me know if you would think it would be better for me to have more different categories and put money towards that instead of lumping everything together. I would love to hear your ideas. Please leave them in the comments down below and I will take that into consideration. I won't go too much into my sinking funds, but just quickly, I pay municipal or council tax every year just for using the sewage system, having to pay for the garbage disposal and things like that. And I have travel. I don't think that really needs explaining. Investment, I try to invest 100 euros every month towards, well, I haven't really set a goal for it, but it's mainly because I want to have some extra money when I retire. My home is for anything that I want for my house. If it's new bedding or I want new chairs or anything like that, I have a sinking fund for that as well. Dentist I already explained, and health contribution I also already explained. So I think this rounds it off for now. I tried to explain everything as clearly as I could. So if you're not from the Netherlands, you would have an idea how certain things work for me. And future budget videos would make more sense, hopefully. Now, this is everything for today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, suggestions, or remarks, please leave them down in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe. It's entirely free. And I would love it if you would follow my journey. I will explain a lot more about that later on. So please follow along. Like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next video. But before I let you go, please remember that you are good enough as you are, and I really hope that today makes you feel that way. Bye!